Imagine waking up and realizing the ground is shaking. Not a little. Your entire shelter is moving beneath you. The fire beside you has gone out. The animals are making strange sounds. Birds are flying away in huge groups. And somewhere in the distance, there is a sound you've never heard before, a deep rumble, like thunder, but it's coming from the ground. You step outside. Everyone else in your small group's already looking toward the mountains. At first, you don't see anything unusual. Then someone points. A thin grey cloud is rising from the mountain. You stare at it. Maybe it's smoke. Maybe there's a fire, but there shouldn't be a fire up there. There is no forest fire, no lightning, no reason for smoke to be coming from the mountain. Then the ground shakes again, harder this time, and suddenly, the mountain flashes orange. For a moment, nobody moves. You don't understand what you're seeing. Then the mountain explodes. A huge column of ash shoots into the sky. Birds disappear. Animals run. Your people scream, and you just stand there. Because you've seen fire before, you've seen lightning, you've seen storms, but you've never seen the earth itself. Throw fire into the sky, and you have absolutely no idea what happens next. Before this moment, your world is simple. You know where the water is. You know where the animals travel. You know which plants you can eat. You know where to sleep. You know how to make fire. You know the seasons. The world may be dangerous, but it makes sense. Until today, you wake up because the ground moves beneath you. At first, nobody panics. Small earthquakes happen. A few rocks fall. The ground shakes, then stops. Life continues, but this one doesn't stop. The walls of your shelter tremble. Dust falls from above. Someone grabs a child. Another person runs outside. You follow. The entire group is staring toward the mountain, and something is wrong with the animals. Deer are running in the wrong direction. Birds are leaving the trees. Even insects seem to have disappeared. Animals don't understand volcanoes, but they don't need to. They can feel something is coming. And then you hear the sound. Boom! The mountain flashes. A cloud rises above it. For a few seconds, nothing happens. Then another explosion. Louder. The sound rolls across the valley. You cover your ears. The children start crying. Someone falls to the ground, and suddenly, the sky begins changing colour. Grey, then black. The mountain is throwing ash into the air. It begins falling around you, in tiny pieces, like dirty snow. You pick one up. It's warm. You look at it. You have no idea what it is. But you know one thing, you don't want it falling on you, so everyone starts running. The first instinct is simple, run away. So you do. You grab whatever you can carry, water, food, a few tools, anything important, and you run. But there's a problem. Nobody knows where to go. The mountain is behind you. So you move in the opposite direction. Easy, except the ash is spreading, the sky's getting darker, your eyes begin to burn, you cover your face, people are shouting, the animals are running everywhere, the ground keeps shaking. You look back, the mountain is no longer just smoking. Something bright is moving down its side, slowly, like a glowing river. You stop, everyone stops. What is that? It isn't water, it isn't fire, it's something thick and orange, flowing down the mountain. It moves slowly, but it doesn't stop. It burns everything in its path. Trees disappear, smoke rises, the forest you've known your entire life is being swallowed. And for the first time, you understand that running away isn't enough. You need somewhere safe. You keep moving. Hours pass. The sun should be high overhead, but you can't see it. The sky has become a giant grey blanket. Ash covers everything. The world looks like nighttime, except it's the middle of the day. You look at the people around you. Nobody knows what to say. There is no explanation, no warning, no story from an older generation telling you what to do, because nobody has seen this before. At least, not anyone you know. You finally find shelter beneath a rocky overhang. Everyone squeezes inside. For the first time since the eruption began, you're quiet. Outside, ash continues falling. You listen. Rumble, silence. Rumble, silence. Then, a much louder sound. You step toward the entrance. Something enormous is moving through the valley. A cloud. Not a normal cloud. A wall of darkness racing across the ground. You don't understand what you're looking at. Someone screams, "Run!" Everyone turns. The cloud is coming toward you. Fast. Much faster than the glowing river. You run deeper into the rocks. The cloud reaches the valley. Trees disappear inside it. Dust fills the air. The sound is deafening. You press yourself against the ground, and then it passes. Silence. You slowly lift your head. The valley outside is gone. Not destroyed. Gone. Covered. You stare through the opening. Everything you knew has disappeared beneath a layer of ash and debris. And that's when a terrifying thought enters your mind. If the mountain can destroy an entire valley, what happens if it doesn't stop? Eventually, the explosions become quieter. The sky remains dark. You decide to stay where you are. Nobody wants to go outside, so you wait. Hours pass. People whisper. Children sleep. Adults stay awake. Nobody knows whether another explosion is coming. Then, someone notices something. The animals. They're gone. The birds. Gone. The deer. Gone. The insects. Gone. The forest sounds that normally surround you have disappeared. For the first time in your life, the world is completely silent. You step outside. Ash covers the ground. It reaches your ankles. You look toward the mountain. It is still glowing, but now it's quiet, almost peaceful. You stare at it, and something strange happens. You aren't afraid for a moment. You're amazed, because the mountain is beautiful. Orange rivers glow against the darkness. Smoke rises into the sky. Tiny pieces of burning rock fall from above. The entire landscape looks like another world. You don't know what a volcano is. You don't know the word for eruption. You don't know what magma is. You don't know why this is happening. You only know that the mountain is alive, and you are watching something no human in your group has ever seen. You wake up expecting everything to be over. It isn't. The mountain is quieter, but the valley has changed forever. The trees are covered in grey dust. The river looks different. The ground is buried. The air smells strange. You walk toward the water, then stop. It's covered with ash. You can't drink it. Your food is covered too. The plants you normally collect are buried. The animals you hunt have disappeared. Suddenly, the eruption isn't just something you watched. It's a survival problem. You need water, you need food, you need somewhere safe, and you need to find it quickly. So your group leaves. You walk for hours. Everywhere you look, the landscape has changed. But then, you find something. A small patch of green, plants untouched by the ash. Everyone rushes towards it. Food, finally. You collect what you can, then you hear movement. Everyone freezes. Something is walking through the trees, slowly. You prepare your weapons. The creature appears. It's an animal you've seen many times before, but it's different now. Covered in ash, terrified. It looks at you. You look at it. For a few seconds, neither side moves. Then it runs. You let it go. There are bigger problems. You keep walking. Days pass. The eruption becomes a distant glow. You begin to believe you're safe. Then something strange happens. The rain comes. At first, you celebrate. Rain means water. Everyone runs outside, mouths open, hands raised. Then someone notices the water isn't normal. It stings. Your eyes burn. People run for shelter. The rain is carrying ash and other material from the eruption. The mountain is still affecting your world, even from far away. You begin to understand something. The eruption isn't one event, it's a chain of problems. First the fire, then the ash, then the darkness, then the lack of food, then the water. Every time you think you've survived, something else appears, and now you have to leave, farther than you've ever travelled. Your group begins moving. You don't know where you're going. You only know where you're not going, toward the mountain. Every day you walk, the landscape slowly changes. The ash becomes thinner. The air becomes clearer. Plants return. Animals begin appearing again. For the first time in days, you hear birds. Everyone stops. Someone smiles. A bird flies overhead. It's a tiny thing, but to you, it's the most beautiful sound in the world. Life is returning. You continue walking. Eventually, you reach a hill. You climb it. At the top, you see something you've never seen before. A massive lake, stretching farther than you can see. Everyone is silent. Water, fresh water. You run toward it. People drink. Children splash in it. For the first time since the mountain exploded, everyone is laughing. You sit beside the water, exhausted. You look back toward the distant mountain. A thin column of smoke still rises from its peak, and you realize something. The mountain didn't just destroy your home, it forced you to leave it. You saw places you would never have reached. You found water you didn't know existed. You crossed land your people had never explored, and somewhere along that journey, you discovered something bigger than the eruption. The world is enormous. Years pass. The mountain becomes quiet. The valley slowly begins changing. New plants appear. Animals return. The ash that once destroyed everything becomes part of the ground. You grow older. Your children grow up. And eventually, the story becomes something you tell around the fire. You tell them about the day the mountain exploded. You tell them about the black sky, the burning river, the strange rain, the journey. And every time you tell the story, the children ask the same question. What was the mountain? You don't know. You don't have the words, so you simply point toward it and say, it woke up. Years later, your children tell their children, and they tell theirs. The story changes. The mountain becomes a spirit, then a monster, then a god, then a warning. Nobody remembers exactly what happened, but they remember one thing. There was a day when the earth opened and fire came out. Today we know what was happening. We know that the glowing river was lava. We know the dark cloud was filled with ash and hot gases. We know why the ground shook. We know why animals reacted before the eruption. We have words for all of it, but imagine not having any of those words. Imagine seeing a mountain explode and having absolutely no idea what a volcano is. You wouldn't think, volcanic activity. You would think the earth is angry. And that's what makes these moments in human history so fascinating. Because our ancestors weren't stupid. They were experiencing something completely outside their world. They had never seen it before. And when humans don't understand something, we create stories. We look for meaning. We try to explain the impossible using the world we already understand. And those stories can survive for thousands of years. In fact, some ancient cultures living near volcanoes created powerful legends about mountains that breathed fire. To them, these weren't just geological events. They were part of their world. And maybe that's how humanity slowly learned. Not by having all the answers, but by experiencing something terrifying, surviving it, and remembering it. Imagine you're standing on that hill again, thousands of years ago. The sun is setting. The valley is peaceful. Birds are flying overhead. People are gathering around a fire. For a moment, everything feels normal. Then, you feel it. A tiny vibration beneath your feet. You stop. The ground moves again. You look toward the mountain. A thin cloud appears above it. Nobody Nobody speaks. Everyone remembers the story. Everyone knows what happened last time. The children look at the adults look at the mountain, and somewhere deep inside you, a question appears. What is happening? Do we run? The ground shakes again. This time, stronger. A low rumble rolls across the valley, and the mountain begins to glow. You grab your family, you turn away, and you run. Because thousands of years ago, humans didn't know what a volcano was. They didn't know the science. They didn't know the warning signs. They didn't know what was coming. They simply looked at the earth and watched it change. And maybe that's what makes the first eruption so terrifying. Not the fire, not the ash, not even the destruction. It's the realization that the world you've spent your entire life understanding can suddenly become something completely different. And when that happens, there's only one thing you can do: watch, remember, and survive.